Well, our guest on this segment is a gentleman that I first met many, many years ago, and he was in full clown makeup. So I had no idea what he looked like until months later. Tom Hufford. Tom was Huffy the Clown for years, and I'm sure many of you out there remember Huffy the Clown.
That's right. Woohoo!
Classroom visits. You worked with kids everywhere.
We were seeing over 30,000 kids a year in the schools, daycare centers, and churches, and relaying information. The 8 major topics that kill and injure children: the seat belts, bicycle helmets, fire safety, burns, on and on. And that clown outfit helped keep their attention. I slowly metamorphosed to doing magic tricks as firefighter Tom, and they're there at the end. But I retired officially from the fire department in April, but I'm still volunteering. The Huffy the Clown was always a volunteer thing on the days off.
My daughters were in junior high and grade school and remember you very well. In fact, you made a heck of an impression on the Stop, Drop, and Roll campaign that you got underway here.
Yep.
And they still talk about that.
Yeah, that's a very important information that we were getting out there.
Fire prevention's a problem, isn't it? We saw an example of that just the other night, where a couple died in a house that they were trying to heat or light or whatever. The jury's still out on that, but they were using open flames and they died.
Right. In the winter months, there's a lot of fires from heating electric heaters, or they're trying to heat their home with their oven, their stove, or maybe their power's out and they've got a generator in the garage and the generator's putting off carbon monoxide and it works its way through the house. There's lots of different things happening in the wintertime. Candles, the pets knock them over, and children throw stuffed animals around the house, and people just don't understand how dangerous candles are. And there's a lot of your fireplaces, your normal heating equipment in the house needs to be checked at least once a year by a professional.
No kidding, no kidding. And I'm not knocking anybody's business. They've got these things you can put in and burn in your fireplace, supposedly to take all the creosote out and make your fireplace safe. Get yourself a chimney sweep, or don't use it. One of the two.
I don't trust those type things. Yeah, you need a chimney sweep.
Yeah.
Somebody that professionally comes in and actually scrubs that thing and clean it out and checks for cracks in the bricks and the mortar and that kind of stuff. That stuff happens all the time.
You know, in the first interview I ever did with you, many years ago, I was working for Channel 2 in Tulsa, and we were talking about, you brought something up that I had not thought about, but overloading sockets. We're going into the holidays, and you pointed out wisely that part of the problem we have in Oklahoma, and we had it at the time, I don't know if we've still got it now or not, but back then we had, I think, what they call aluminum wiring.
Aluminum wiring.
Which was a fire hazard. And we also talked about overloading sockets with Christmas lights.
Right, the decorations. The old type light bulbs that we used for years and years and years, you shouldn't have more than 3 of those hooked together in one strand. But today, the new fire safe decorations are LED, light emitting diode. They're way less power. It takes a lot less power to operate those LED lights. So I strongly suggest that people get LED lights for you can hook up to 30 of those in a row. That's the difference. 3 versus 30. But you need to go by the manufacturer's recommendation. There's different ones, different type of strands and different type of lights all over the place. But if you can work your way to LEDs, that's the best thing you can do. I've completely replaced all my lights at home with LED.
Are we still, do we still feel like aluminum wiring is going on?
Oh, yes. Aluminum wiring, the bad thing is where they connect in the breaker boxes and where they connect in all the light sockets or the receps. It deteriorates after a while between the the brass screws and the aluminum wire, and it starts making sparks and things. And I noticed that the city of Tulsa is replacing all the copper wires in all of the street lights because people are stealing the copper and tearing things up. So there must be some new ways to connect the aluminum wires. I'm not familiar with, my son's an electrician, I should, but I can ask him if they have improved ways of connecting aluminum wires at the ends. That's where the fire hazard is.
And it's especially usually found in much older homes, isn't it?
Yes, it was at the time, yeah.
What about, and I know we hear people talk about this all the time, smoke detectors. How really important are they?
Oh my gosh, smoke detector is the most important piece of fire safety equipment you can have. It's going to give you some time to get out of your house if there's a fire. You got to make sure that you install them, one on every level of your home, and nowadays it's one in every sleeping area. So you want a smoke detector in every room of your home because it will save your life. It's a huge deal. You got to change the batteries once a year, unless you have one of the newer 10-year lithium battery smoke alarms, and replace the batteries every time you change your clocks. We just changed our clocks a little while ago. Change your clocks, change your smoke alarm batteries, check it once a month, and make sure it works.
I came about this close to a serious kitchen fire. 3 or 4 years ago. At the time, my mother-in-law was living with us. She was in bad health. And I had some things cooking. And I thought, I forgot to do this thing in the garage. I ran out to do it in the garage.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, my alarm's going off. My house alarm, like a burglar alarm.
Right.
I go running in, and my mother-in-law's in there waving her arms, you know. She was fine, but what had happened, there was just enough smoke coming from the stove to trigger the alarm.
Sure.
And while I'm taking care of that, up rolls the fire department. Well, you know, it triggered the alarm. They're going to roll on it. I never forgot that. Never leave anything burning.
That's
Never.
a great test. I
Yeah.
mean, whenever that happens, it makes you realize that the system's working, you know.
Yeah.
But smoke alarms are so important. The new thing now is residential sprinklers. If you're building a home, or if you're going to remodel your home, you should really consider sprinkling your home with fire sprinklers. It's the new big push right now.
And let me add a note to that too. If any of you go to flea markets or estate sales out in the country where you will find what I'm about to tell you, these items, they used to make a sprinkler that would, in the event of a fire, it contained a liquid. It was a unit about this tall, and it had a reddish liquid in it. That reddish liquid is incredibly harmful. If you find one of those and you say, hey, you know what, that'd be a great item to have. No. If you buy it, get somebody to come in and get that liquid out and then clean the thing out, because I'm telling you, it's beyond hazardous to your health.
A lot of those different older fire extinguishers, we consider it a hazardous material. So you should be real careful about all the older fire extinguishing materials and equipment out there.
And now we got a recall on home fire extinguishers. Big recall, and mine's got to go. Tom, we're out of time. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Sam.
I appreciate you. I want to get you back on. We'll talk some more, okay?
Just give me a call.
Closer to Christmas. That's all the time we have for this edition of Perspectives. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. What?